Hello, welcome to my YouTube channel Srinivas Puranik. Today let us read the lesson Narayanapura incident written by Sashi Deshpande from 10th standard second language English. So introduction. The year in 1942, the time of the Quit India movement, a teacher in a small town, a follower of Gandhiji, has been arrested. His elder son, 18-year-old Mohan, and his college friends, including Suman, believe in a different form of resistance to the British. His younger son Babu, aged 13, and daughter Manju, 2 years younger, are also keen to participate in the struggle against the British. First para. Are you coming, Manju? Babu asked. Coming where? Said Manju. Even as the brother and sister were talking, they heard magical words. They are coming, they are coming. The children, like others, rushed out, heedless of the rain. Policemen now appeared all along the road. Some of them walked in front of the students and some by their sides, but the students marched as if the police didn't exist. They walked in complete silence. There were no slogans, no shouts, just the shuffle of feet, the drip of rain, and a low murmur from the watching crowd. Babu and Manju looked eagerly for Mohan. Yes, there he was, dressed in white pyjamas and cream colored shirt, with another boy, both holding aloft a picture of the Mahatma. Their arms must have ached holding it up that way for so long, but their faces were expressionless. Now, the leaders of the procession, Suman was one of them, they saw in excitement, had reached the barred gates. A police officer, he was the DSP, Mohan told them later, came up to them. There was some conversation between him and the students. Fourth one. The students seemed to be arguing. The rain had lessened now, and the police officer took off his hat and ruffled his hair. Once he laughed, showing all his teeth, but the students remained serious. One of them handed him a piece of paper. He took it without glancing at it and nodded. The students turned their backs on him, and one of them shouted, Mahatma Gandhi ki jai. The others shouted back loudly, and then they briskly marched back the way they had come. Is that all? Manju asked in disappointment. What else did you want? A dance? A drama? Babu asked scornfully. Nevertheless, he understood her feeling and asked Mohan the same question when he returned home. Why did you go back so quietly? Were you scared what the police would do? Mohan seemed immensely pleased with himself. Scared? Not in the least. We had planned it this way. We knew they would stop us at the gate. We knew they expected us to protest and be violent. Oh, yes, they wanted us to do that so that they could beat us up and haul us away to jail. But we are not prepared to go to jail, not as yet anyway, not until we have given them much more trouble. And so we decided we would give them no chance at all. What was the point then? Babu asked, while Manju listened earnestly, her chin cupped in her hands. It's like a declaration of war. We have told them, this is war for us and you are the enemy. You don't start a war without first declaring your intentions, do you? Unless you are Adolf Hitler. Amma, who had been quietly listening to them, said with a small smile, right, which poor which are not. So that's how it was. And what was that paper you gave the policeman? That was a notice served on the collector as representative of His Majesty government, asking them to quit India or face the consequences. Suman and another boy turned up after they had finished their dinner that night. The boy staggered in with a large newspaper covered parcel in his hands. Got it? Mohan asked, his voice tense with excitement. Yes, lot of trouble though. Where shall I take it? Here, let me help you. My room. Okay, Amma. No, I think the puja room is better. A, a light there will look more normal. Right, as usual, Amma. The puja room then. The boy went away after a whispering conversation with Suman. Then Suman, Amma, and Mohan went into the small puja room. Babu and Manju stared curiously over their shoulders at the mysterious parcel, which turned out to be a cyclostyling machine. Babu, Mohan said as they settled down to work, sit out in the front room and keep watch. Give us a warning if anyone seems to be coming to our house. Manju, go to bed, or else, he went on, noticing her crestfallen face. You sit here in the hall and pass on Babu's warning to us. Babu sat outside, alert and attentive. He felt a thickening in his throat. It was beginning, and at last he was doing something. What a pity Guppy, Murli, and others would never know about, perhaps someday. He checked himself and kept his eyes and mind on the road outside. It was deserted. In a little while, the 9 o'clock siren went off. Babu thought for the first time that day of the war being fought all over the world. And suddenly, coming out of his reverie, he tensed. A man riding a bike got off and stopped right outside the gate, but it was only to light a cigarette, it seemed. Babu could see the match flaring, then the glow in front of the man's face. The small point of light moved as the man got on his bike and rode away. One more bike. Babu flung himself inside. Manju turned a startled face to him. Someone's coming in. There was silence. From inside the puja room, their faces looked at him blankly, the dim light giving them a peculiar look. Shadows quivered and danced as the wick of the oil lamp flickered and fizzed. Then Amma got up and came out, followed by Mohan. Suman stayed inside, and Mohan closed the door of the room. Manju, go to bed. Babu, you too. There was a knock at the door. Babu rushed to his room, unrolled his bedroll, and threw himself on it. A knock again. Who's there? Amma called out. Knock, knock. Mohan, go and see who it is. Manju, who had got into bed too, noticed that though Amma's voice was steady, her hands trembled. Mohan came in saying, Amma, it's Patil, the sub-inspector. Amma held Manju's hand in tight, heartful clutch, though her voice was still cool and calm. What does he want? He wants to talk to you. To me, the hand relaxed. Manju drew her own hand back and rubbed it softly. I haven't come to trouble you, a strange voice said. Your husband was my friend in school. I am a friend. Amma got up quickly and went out. Manju waited a moment and followed her. There was Babu coming out of his room, making a show of having been woken out of a deep sleep, rubbing his eyes, yawning loudly and repeatedly, mumbling in a grumpy voice, Who is it? Who is it? But nobody paid him any attention, and soon Babu was taking in everything with the greatest curiosity. The man, was he really a police officer? He didn't look like one in his dingy clothes. He was saying to Amma, Yes, we were in school together. Oh, yes, he was far above me. He was a scholar and I was one of the dunces. He always helped me though. God knows how often I would have been caned but for him. Please, Patil Sahib, Amma said rather impatiently, tell me why you are here. It's like this. Suddenly the man was brisk and businesslike. His glance swept over all of them, taking them all in shrewdly. Certainly this man was no dunce. There's going to be a search in your house. When? Most probably tonight. I heard the Sahib talking. They were speaking of a cyclostyling machine. It seems you people are making copies of Mahatma's speech. They say you have people hiding here as well. Ha, Mohan scoffed. But you have the cyclostylling machine. No, Mohan repeated angrily. You are wasting time spying on us. Tell me. The man ignored Mohan and spoke to Amma. Yes, Amma replied simply, and Mohan made an angry hissing sound. Where is it? Amma, you have gone. Amma, you have gone. Inside, Manju's heart began beating wildly. Why was Amma giving them away? Give it to me. I'll get it out of the way. You can have it when it's safe. Mohan burst out again. Amma, what are you doing? How can you trust a policeman? The man touched Mohan on the shoulder. Mohan, you are still very young. There are many things you don't understand. I am a policeman, yes, but your father was and still is my friend. This is my country as much as it is yours. Now give it to me quickly. They may come any moment. Amma opened the door of the puja room and said, Suman emerged, wiping her face with her sari, looking anxiously at them. Come in. Amma beckoned to the man. It's here. Suman stared at Amma and the man in bewilderment. Amma smiled at her and said, You have got to get away, Suman. Take away all the material, Mohan, will you? Mohan stared at Amma, at Suman, and finally at Patil, who stared steadily back to Mohan. And suddenly the two smiled to each other. Okay, Amma, Mohan said and ducked into the puja room. He lugged the machine out and gave it to Patil. Do you have a largish bag with you? The man asked. Manju, Amma began, but Babu had already got it. That's fine, the man said, and then they were gone. Patil, Mohan, and Suman. The house seemed unbelievably quiet after the early intense activity. Let's go back to bed, Amma suggested. Mohan came back shortly. Suman, Manju asked him anxiously. She is all right. Go to bed, Manju, Amma said. Bed with the police about to come? But nevertheless, she did drop off at some time and came out of her sleep with a jerk to hear a loud knock at the door. It was repeated. Manju sat up in sudden fright. Amma patted her comfortingly. Who is it? She asked loudly. Open the door. A strange voice ordered. Mohan, see who it is, Amma said. It was like going through something all over again. But this time they knew for sure it wasn't a friend standing there. No need for Mohan to announce, Amma, it's the police. Thank you.